What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the shop. Today we have a 2015 Chevy Cruze. Window does not go up and down. We're going to show you how to get that fixed. Let's get into it. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is there's a little plastic trim up here. Let's go ahead and pop that off. And then grab you a pick or something. There is a little cover here by the door handle and one down in here. Alright, so behind these two little covers you have a T20 screw. There's one in here. Don't lose your screws, put them somewhere safe. And one down in the door grab. Alright, so the next thing you're going to want to do is grab a hold of the bottom of the door panel and just kind of pull. And it may sound like you're breaking it, you're not breaking it. These clips can be pretty tough sometimes, so just give it a good little tug. And then after you get most of it free, kind of lift up on the door panel. Now gently pull it off. Okay, down inside of here, you're going to have your door latch cable and you're going to have two connectors. We need to get both of those off. So for the door latch cable, pull it out, lift up on the cable, and then the tabs are just standard little tabs. Just push the release tab, pull those out. And then once you get your tabs off and your cable off, your door panel, just pull it out of the way, set it somewhere where it don't get scratched. Now that the door panel's out of the way, you have to remove this bracket. Again, T20, pull those out. Now that the bracket's off, you can go ahead and pull this wind diffuser back, slide your cable through, just gently pull it all the way back, pull your connectors through. Just get that thing out of your way. Now, down in here, this is the connector for your window regulator motor. There is a little red tab here. You need to pull that tab down and then depress your connector and pull it off. Inside of the door there's a little clip that has some rubber pieces on it that hold the windshield in place. You're gonna want to pull this. It's too bright for you guys. You're gonna want to pull that 10mm off of there to release the rubber from the window glass. There's actually supposed to be two of these on these window regulators. There's one over here to hold the glass and then one on this side to hold the glass. This regulator is completely destroyed, so both of these have fallen off of the window and the cable is broken. So depending on where your window is, where it stopped working at, it may be kind of a pain to get to these, but just reach up in there and feel around, try to get those 10mm out. So after you get those two clips that hold the glass on, take your window and slide it all the way up in the window frame, and that should hold it there. If it doesn't want to stay, there's a couple of things you can do. You can run some tape from one side of the window over the top of the door to the other side to help hold it up, or just have somebody else help you hold the window up. But after you get those out and the window secured, there's 4 bolts that hold this regulator in, maybe 5. There's one here, 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 and here. Go ahead and remove those. This bolt here holds the motor itself. Go ahead and take it out as well. Once you get all those loose, just kind of work your window regulator out of the door. As you can see, this cable's not connected to anything on this side. This cable's all loose in here. We're gonna go ahead and replace all of this. All right, so we got the new window regulator. There's actually two different ones for this car. One of them is for the automatic up and down window, which this car has, and the other one is if you do not have a automatic up and down window, so make sure you pay attention to that when you're getting your parts. There's the part number for the automatic up and down. So here's our new regulator. You can see that the cables are kind of in an X pattern. They are supposed to be like this. Don't untwist them. They're supposed to be crossed like that. They have two bolts up here on both sides. Leave those in when you install this because there's these slots here in these bolt holes. You can actually slide this up in here, run those bolts into those slots, and it'll hold it while you line up the bottom side. Okay, now that the regulator's in, what we're gonna do is we're gonna plug in our motor. Make sure you push your red clip back in. And then we're gonna turn the key on and grab our door panel. We're going to plug back in the window controls. Okay, so now what you're going to do from this position is run your regulator up. You'll see those little pieces I showed you earlier slide up and down on the track. What you want to do is very gently reach up in there, don't pinch your fingers, and just make sure that those little rubber tabs Let me find one. Make sure that these rubber pieces slide up into the glass. And then once you get the brackets seated up onto the glass, you can turn your key off and pull the door panel back off. Now that the door panel's out of the way and you have your brackets seated on the window glass, there's actually these two holes right here on both sides that give you access to the screws to tighten those little brackets. So go ahead and tighten those up. And remember, you're just pinching a piece of glass between some rubber. You don't have to tighten this down to 4,000 foot-pound. Just snug it up. And now before we put everything back together, we're going to stick our door panel back on and just plug it in. And we're going to make sure that the window works properly. That way we don't put it all together, find out it doesn't work, and have to tear it back apart. Make sure you listen when this is going up and down, that you don't have anything positioned weird. You're not hitting anything with the regulator as it slides up and down. And do this a couple times just to make sure. Okay, now that we know it goes up and down, we're going to pull the door panel off, get our wind diffuser back on, and then put everything back together. Don't forget about your bracket. And now it's door panel time. our door panel on. Two things to note when you're putting these door panels on. Number one, your lock has to go through the little hole, so make sure you get that done. The other thing too is make sure that the back side of the seal lips over here and gets tight against the window. You'll know when you have it positioned right because when you try to slide it on, if you push down a little bit, it should slide down into the slot. Like so. And then you just clip your door panel back in. Screws. Your two covers. And your mirror connector cover. And then double check that everything works. Okay, goes up and down by itself, automatic. Door handle feels like it's working properly. One thing you want to do is when you check your door handle, make sure your window is rolled down, because if your inside door handle doesn't work, you really don't want to have to climb out the passenger side. And there you go, guys. That's how you change your window regulator on your 2015 Chevrolet Cruze. Let's go up and down. If you guys liked the video, drop a like on the video, and if you want to see more, subscribe.